You might just want to watch this one until the very end, folks. We are Carol and Ken, and we like touring in our little red camper, a tiny Nissan MV200 built by Sussex Camper Vans. We mostly wild camp and like to show the scenery, van life, food and a bit of history. People tell us that we're relaxing to watch, so give us a try and see if you agree. If you do, then give us a like and hit that subscribe button for more adventures from the little red camper. If you're interested in anything we use in the van, then just click the affiliate link in the description. Welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of a 2-part film about Storm Barra hitting the UK. The link I'm showing top right now should take you to part 1 if you haven't seen it. In that episode we were hit by a sleet storm. It was very brief but quite spectacular. We also saw a beautiful sunset on the White Cliffs. The skies were really spooky as well. We also got the chance to continue our experiments using bubble wrap to cut down condensation on our glass. That night we had a nice Chinese takeaway at a park up with a view, but unfortunately we were plagued with boy racers. So this is an overview of where we parked up last night, Mill Hill. I couldn't use the drone because we're so close to the airport here. Oh, we got a wild bucket in the middle of the road. It's doing a sit-down protest. The story picks up again with us on our way down to Shoreham Harbour. Windy day selling Christmas trees.
Good luck with that.
Just want to pull in here and get a look at the harbour because the tide is coming in now. Right, I'm just going to get a shot, some shots out there, alright? Conditions are not too bad at the moment. Carol's not fond of the rain, so I'll be the one jumping in and out of the car to get any shots that we need. Tide's on the way in still. I wonder what it's like in these houseboats when we've got a storm. We'll drive down now to where the Pollinator Cafe is. I doubt very much they're going to be open on a day like this. It's getting breezy. 2 vans. These signs overnight camping have absolutely no power in law whatsoever. Sadly, they're relying on ignorance of the law here to try and scare people from overnighting. I'm quite happy to obey the law, but it annoys me if they're bluffing you. Nice little waste truck. I'm not a waste truck spotter, but I do like its dinky size.
It's a 2.1 metre barrier.
Yeah.
Pollinator Cafe is open. I don't expect they're getting...
I don't think it is, surely
well,
not.
now open.
Yeah,
There's
but you wouldn't take
here.
them down, would you? That it wouldn't be open.
Just means the cafe's now there, ready for business.
Yeah. Oh no, it is open. The front is up. I don't know what this bird is, but it's very pretty. He's going to have a tough day, this little bird. Well, good for him for opening, and I think he's probably hoping to catch some storm chasers. But we've just made our coffees, and sadly we won't be buying. We're right by Shoreham Fort here, which was completed in 1857. In 1628, some French ships navigated their way into Shoreham Harbour and caused a bit of mayhem, which is why these forts were eventually built. It is blooming horrible out here and getting worse. You have to use the loo, Charlie. Mind your door.
You're always filming me in storms, going to the toilet.
There goes Daisy May. I fear that might be the only time she gets out of the van. The beaches are quite deep here, and I want to get a shot of some waves without having to walk too far, so I've moved the van now to this spot, which is quite close. I'm mainly using my iPhone today for external shots because it's weatherproofed, and I've got a homemade little wind muffler I use with it. It seems to work quite well. I'm not sure what the winds are gusting at the moment, but it's certainly bashing the iPhone, which is causing the picture to shake at times. I'm not going to stand here long and get soaking wet, as I don't want to drag too much moisture back into the camper van. These homes right next to the sea, beautiful access in the warm sunny weather. A different matter when those storms start to roll in. I wanted to see if I could get a better shot of these houseboats, so we've moved our position now to here so that I can get a view across to them. They seem to be in a fairly well sheltered spot here and protected by that big shingle beach. That's M1096 over there, a 1960s fast minesweeper converted to a houseboat. Look how this bird is making use of that tiny little island just to keep out of the wind. We're driving east now through Shoreham by Sea. This lady on the left here is about to get her cover blown off the pram. Hard work with a pram in this weather, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Blimey. There's a guy swimming in the sea here. Somebody's swimming in the sea. You've got to be keen, haven't you?
Yeah.
The heavy chains on this crane are beginning to be blown sideways. Big round of applause for the bin men on a day like this. The water levels in the harbour are looking pretty high, so I want to check them out and drive round to this point here. I feel a bit like a peeping Tom taking this shot. How close the water is to those cars. We're just coming up to high tide. Any more and those cars will be flooded. The people over there are obviously very confident that it's not going to reach that high. We're working our way east again now along the seafront road towards Brighton Marina. It's tough on a bike today, isn't it? Blimey. It's ignoring the red light by mounting the pavement and crossing the road. These beautiful old properties on the front here are worth an absolute fortune. I see the emergency calls are beginning to come in now. It's the Metropole. So here's the Grand just after Metropole. I remember seeing this place shortly after it was blown up by the IRA. Over on the right here are the remains of the West Pier. It's purely a skeleton now, as it burnt down in March 2003. Oh, he's getting blown about on that bike, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some massive waves coming under that pier. Coming through, little red camper. The pier is open, but I have to say I don't really fancy that with this driving rain.
Think there'll be anyone on the zip wire today?
Look at this. They have gone bike mad, haven't they?
Yeah.
Look, this is the bike
Half
lane.
the road now is
Half
bike.
the road is bike. And also over there you've got twice the width for people to walk down. Brighton are slowly trying to eliminate the car.
So this is one way now to traffic.
Yeah.
This one lane. What's that in the road?
I really don't know what that is.
And it costs a fortune to park here as well.
Yeah. That used to generate income in the summer, didn't it? With the parked cars there. So now,
Well, yes, yeah.
and look, they're still not doing anything about this collapsing antique arcade.
This Victorian, beautiful arcade.
Just been abandoned to
Just gone to
absolutely
rust. Look at it.
fall into pieces.
Used to be really beautiful.
Still, they keep getting voted in, so the locals must love it. Does anybody know what these works are on the beach? I wonder if this car park is actually open down here today.
Well, they might be still doing bus tours down here for Christmas
Yeah,
shopping.
for Christmas
Because
market.
they didn't know what the weather was going
With
to be
that
like.
big,
They have a big Christmas market by the Churchill Centre, don't they? Don't come
so
far
the whole car park
That's
has
all
been
blocked
taken
up.
over.
by builders.
Never mind, I'm going to use this gap on double yellows to get you some shots of the waves. This is probably this driving school's favourite place to practice 3-point turns. What's the weather doing?
Right, well the time now is 12:55.
Yeah.
And it's high tide 12:58, so it's
Oh,
pretty
right,
much high
yeah.
tide now. And the
Funny
waves-
enough, those waves are not as big as I expected them to be.
yeah.
And I think that's probably because the wind is coming directly off the sea. So on the right hand side here, they're not, you know, the waves are coming parallel to it, not being bashed onto it.
Yeah, this side though.
So what's the winds now?
So the winds are gusting up to 55
Yeah.
here in Brighton.
So good news is this storm's hitting us during daylight hours, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Which is much easier to cope with. We're going to move now to a little car park just to the east of the marina. See if we can get some shots of the waves crashing directly onto that. Wind is catching us. So I wonder what it's like driving one of these buses.
It's quite nice and level.
They like the narrow. Could you get any narrower?
You've got quite a bit of room this side. Yeah. Well, I mean,
As I say, they hate the car down here.
well, what is this for if it's not for cars?
It's where the council keep their puddle collection. There's some big blooming holes
Yeah.
here, Charlie.
And they're obviously not going to repair them, are they?
No.
Unless we're into the wind.
Yeah, we're into the wind now. Leave the engine running, leave the old windscreen wipers running. I had this place marked in the back of my mind for an overnight camp, but we ended up on Mill Hill instead. These posts are doing a bit of rocking. So the wind and waves are coming from the south, and here they are crashing over the harbour wall on that side. Well, that's certainly a bracing bike ride. I wonder what it's like being down in one of those little flats on that floating pontoon. Okay, so we've had a nice little drink here. Let's move on.
Oh, before we get flooded in the car park.
I think the car park's already flooded.
Huge puddle.
Don't know how bad these holes are.
To negotiate the narrow entrance again now.
There's a van that just came and gave up here because he couldn't get through, and he's only the next size up from us. What I think is really spiteful is they don't make them tall enough so that you can
can't
actually see them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's join this blustery road. I remember this road. We used to travel it a lot when we used to live down in Saltdean. So what do we think the winds are now? 50?
50, yes, probably 50 now. They'll be 55 at their height in another hour or so.
Yeah.
So this is Rottingdean,
Yeah.
quaint little village.
the waves coming up down there.
Yes.
That's what it's like on the undercliff.
You can walk all the way around those cliffs from Saltine to Brighton.
We're off back to Newhaven now to have a look at Wave Walker on the West Beach. The tide is exceptionally high here. It's impressive when it's in so high. This is where we are now in relation to the entrance to the harbour. Wow, this is very different to last night, isn't it?
Wow, look how full it is.
Stay back from the edge, I think.
Yeah.
That is... Look at how bad it is down there. Come around here.
Yeah, can't even drive over there.
Wow, that is impressive, isn't it? Just angle it. And we'll get the other camera going. Blimey. If the waves are reaching your car, then you have to be very, very careful. Now, I happen to know that this is a sand beach here, so it's very unlikely that the waves are going to be throwing up any rocks. If this was a shingle beach, then I wouldn't be anywhere near it in the van. Now, it's funny, you know, because I thought it would be calm here. I thought we'd just get a few waves going over the arm.
We have got a few waves going over the arm right at the end.
Yeah, I didn't realise they'd be coming over the sea here. Now, there's quite a few vehicles down the other end, so I'm going to position ourselves down there so we can get a view back along this wall if possible. It's quite impressive, isn't it? Now, if we were real storm chasers, we'd have this window open for a better shot. I think it's better here because you've got a load of raindrops where you are. I'm going to keep to the right hand side as much as I can through here. Come through here a bit more rapid, I think. I did spend a little time watching how the waves were falling before I decided to drive down here, but this seems to be a more sheltered spot with a better view. That's the view we want. We'll be back here, safe, but with a view through the front. Right, we'll face this way for a little while. Impressive. This platform is Wave Walker 1 and it's got 8 legs and it's able to walk itself across the seabed into position. It can actually step over obstacles under the water if necessary, and it's used for site investigations, drilling, blasting, trenching, pipelines and laying cables. Out there, it's miserable. Very cold, very wet, and very uncomfortable. But in here, we're cosy warm. There are plenty of other storm chasers here, and far braver than us. Wouldn't fancy being out there, and I don't think my kit would last 2 minutes with all this water. I've moved again, slightly to the right, as I wanted to get a picture of all this water being thrown up onto the promenade and then draining back into the sea. The tide is just past high tide now. The winds are at their strongest and the storm is doing its worst. So let's give you a little taste of what it's like to be standing out there. Somebody else here using a mobile phone. They're very good in these drenching conditions. Well, I hope you're enjoying our storm chasing. Let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do more of this sort of stuff. I'm glad we came back here. This is more impressive than down in Brighton and everywhere, isn't it? This Land Rover decided to swing round and park directly in front of us. But he wasn't happy there for very long and then decided to place himself directly under the waves. Are you enjoying your storm, Charlie?
It's fascinating just watching the waves.
Yeah. Especially when you're nice and cosy. Is this cheating?
I think so.
Are we not hardcore storm chasers?
No. I don't. Have I been out? Oh yeah, I just went out to go to the toilet.
You went out to go to the toilet. You're sort of more of that laid back, comfortable storm chaser, aren't you, Charlie?
I just climb in the back and make a cup of coffee.
Hey, well, I've had enough. I think we should make a move and try and get home before it gets dark.
Yeah.
In case there's some trees coming down or anything.
Light's definitely going.
Yeah,
so
it'd be nice to be able to see them, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Okay, let's get going, Bubba. Luckily, this is a sand beach. Otherwise, it'd be throwing up
Oh, yeah.
great big
You
lumps
wouldn't be
of rock,
driving
wouldn't
along
it?
here if it was
I wouldn't have come
a
along
pebble
here
beach.
if it'd been pebbles.
No, too dangerous.
Yeah. Still plenty of campers here. They're here for the duration, aren't they?
Yeah,
I wonder if they're it's free for them. I hope so.
I think so. This time of year, I should think so.
Yeah. That we've now been replaced with rain, I think, haven't we?
I think that's still sea. That's
Maybe, huh?
sea. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not raining hard.
It is raining hard, yeah. I think so. We made it home safely and we had a wonderful time storm chasing, and we look forward to the next one. If you enjoyed the video, then let us know by giving us a like and hit that subscribe button for more adventures from the Little Red Camper.